It was a cool Friday in September. That afternoon, school let out early around noon that day. So Chad, Steve, Frank, Colin, and I all carpooled together to go to the Great Vanderville Fair. We were all pretty excited. I hadn't been to the fair in years, and I didn't think that Colin had either. Anyway, around 12:10 that afternoon, the bell for dismissal rang, and we all met up at the parking lot at my car and got going down to the fair, downtown Vanderville. Though not before stopping at the local 7-Eleven to get some energy drinks. I got what Frank recommended, the Ghost Energy, which only had 5 calories and, according to Frank, was worth as much as 3 cups of coffee.
Yep, it makes me go crazy off the walls,
Frank said. Man, Frank, you better not. I know how you get when you go crazy. You always mess everything up, I said.
Well, as for Frank, bro, he can do what he wants, but as for me, I love energy, and I love the gains, all the edge. So I'm gonna get a protein shake instead,
said Chad. Alright, suit yourself, I said. We got our drinks and went back to the car and hit the road for the fair. We got down there around at 1:40 in the afternoon because of the traffic. We hooked a right turn and eventually were on the fairgrounds. There were some new houses being built by said fairgrounds. To avoid paying for parking, we just parked in the neighborhood there. That meant we had to walk about a quarter mile to get the actual fair area, though, which wasn't a big deal.
Nick,
Frank asked. Yeah, Frank, I replied.
When we get to the fair, can you get some funnel cakes? Of course we can, bros. That sounds like a perfect way to unwind after a long week of school, Chad mentioned. Besides, funnel cakes are usually fried in butter, and we already know what butter is made from. Dairy. And dairy means protein,
said Chad. To be honest, at that point it just seemed like Chad was making everything up. I know he had the gains and all, but whatever, I dismissed it. We all knew that Chad was right in the middle of football season, so he was super muscular, trained up, and in shape as always. Anyway, I think. But, okay, back to the story. We got to the fair and paid for our admission. We booked our tickets for 4 hours since I had to leave for work that night around 5.
Man, let's go get some fucking Nick.
I don't think there's anywhere to get that here, Steve, but we can try.
Never mind, man. Let's do something else. How about we get some food?
Yeah, we haven't had lunch yet, said Colin.
Oh yeah, you're right, bro. Them bitches at school didn't even feed us.
Steve was right. It was a half day at school, so they didn't give us any lunch, and no lunch block. We went over to the food area, got some hot dogs along with some funnel cakes. Frank and Chad were ecstatic.
Yay, funnel cakes!
Frank exclaimed.
Ooh, now this is the way to brew,
said Chad. We dug into our food. I got some hot dogs. I chose to decline on the funnel cakes, though. However, as we were in the middle of our meal, something crazy happened. We looked to the fence towards where the parking lot was and saw everyone else parked, and there was a blue minivan, too, that we just happened to notice in the amidst ocean of all the other cars. The driver rolled down the window. Right next to us was no one other than Herbert Ernie himself.
Hey, boys. Nice day at the fair, eh?
Herbert, what are you doing here? This isn't even a school event, but you still aren't allowed to be here, remember? You got kicked out of the fair. It was on the newspaper last year, said Colin.
I don't know about that one, boys. Sometimes I get my ways of making everything work out in my favor. Anyway, let me find a parking spot so I can join you boys at the fair and make some old memories.
A shiver ran up my spine as soon as Herbert referred to old memories. Yeah, I remember back when I was a freshman, that one incident where Herbert pooped his pants at the fair and started throwing it around at everyone. It even hit people in the face. I really don't want to talk about it, even when Colin and Chad asked what was wrong. I simply dismissed it and tried to continue with the day. We finished eating and soon decided to hit the Ferris wheel.
Sounds relaxing to me, bro. A Ferris wheel ride is always a good view of the town. We might get some future gain spots for the gym and some action shots, said Chad. Man, seems like the best part to me, G. Ferris wheels where all the best chicks are.
Alright, well, we did just that. We headed to the Ferris wheel and showed the men our tickets and hop on. The ride was obviously pretty slow, but it went surprisingly high and over the fair. We were able to see the whole town from that view. The seats could only fit 3 per row, so it was myself, Chad, and Frank. But the other one had Steve and Colin in it.
He's getting pretty high,
Frank said.
I don't know, bro. I might have to agree with Frank bro on this one. Heights aren't really my thing,
said Chad.
Sir, Mr. Ride Officer, can you please stop the ride? I would like to get off.
But it was too late. The ride was already more than 25 feet off the ground. Sorry, bud. Too late for that. Can't stop it now. You have to wait till it does the full revolution.
Ew,
said Chad, sounding more worried than ever. Meanwhile, we looked behind us and witnessed Steve going crazy on a Snap story. He was bouncing up and down, had the flash on even though it was daytime, and was filming himself lip-syncing, hyping himself up to some random song. He was going absolutely nuts, and Colin was just sitting there enjoying the view, which I don't blame him, because the view was incredible. It was a clear day, but the wind was kind of insane. It was around 60 degrees, so the wind chill made it feel a little colder. Whew, should have brought my jacket, I heard Colin say from back there.
Man, shut your bitch ass up. It ain't even cold. I go in 20-degree weather all the time in a tank top.
Brrr, said Chad. We all knew that Chad was like a penguin when it came to the cold. He hated it. Oh, I don't even know if penguin... Never mind. I was about to say, penguins live in Antarctica. They don't mind the cold. Okay, well. Anyway, Frank didn't like the cold either, as he too was shivering. It's funny, though, because Frank in the winter always wears shorts and a t-shirt and never seems to get cold. The Ferris wheel came to an end, and we all hopped off.
Whew, glad to be near, Bruce.
Listen, Chad, that wasn't even that high. It's like 50 feet max. Yeah, that's the part I forgot to mention, but the Ferris wheel wasn't even like a real one. It was like a miniature one instead of the full-sized Ferris wheel. Anyway, after that was all taken care of, we decided to play some games. You know, the ones where you use the darts to try and hit the target and whatnot to win a prize. You know, that dumb shit. We go over to one of the stands and tell the guy we want to play. Luckily, the stand all had room for 5 people to play at once, which is the number of people we had in our group. Alright, boys, have fun. The one who scores the most points wins this life-size stuffed panda bear.
With the panda bear!
Frank shouted. Hey, you gotta earn it first, buddy.
Okay.
Frank started firing. His aim was terrible, though. Colin's aim was alright, though, still missing quite a lot. Chad's aim was questionable, for what he claimed. Steve was hitting a few, but Steve was trying to hit these weird trick shots.
Man, I'd be with this shit. With this dart, I'ma throw a curved dart, you dig?
However, when Steve threw his quote-unquote curved dart, it did not land in the target. Rather, it landed in someone's hot dog. Hey! It happened to be in some big muscular guy who looked like he just got out of college or something, like a bodybuilder. The guy then started marching over to Steve, and Steve looked terrified.
Yo, man, was it me, G? Yeah, it was this man. Hey, you about that one, Steve. I think everybody witnessed you commit the crime.
Frank laughed frantically.
Man, shut your bitch ass up. Hand it over.
Okay, I'm fed up, the guy said. I'm gonna beat your ass now.
You want smoke, bitch?
Said Steve. The guy didn't take any shit. He punched Steve right in the face, and Steve landed in the cold mud.
Man, I'm coming to light up your house tonight,
said Steve. The guy went back to his seat and finished eating his hot dog. Guys, let's get out of here, said Colin.
Yep, but I still want the stuffed panda,
said Frank. No stuffed panda today, Frank. We don't want any more trouble, Colin said. I had to agree with this one. Before we left the fair, though, we decided to do one more fun thing. And that was a dance competition that Steve really wanted to do.
Man, if we have any chance of pulling any baddies today, the dance floor the place to be.
Little do we know, however, the dance floor, we would not be pulling any fine shit. Pulling something else. You'll wait to see. So, yeah. Anyway, here's what went down. We got to the dance floor and Steve immediately ran over and started attempting to break dance.
Man, yo, babe, see this? Check this out. Check it out. Check it out, man,
said Steve. His break dancing was not good at all. Frank then went in the middle of the dance floor and started belly flopping like a penguin. Sort of like a worm thing.
Woo, woo, woo.
Then Chad went out on the dance floor and started doing some weird sort of slow motion Irish tap dance.
Dancing, don't want to interfere with the games, said Chad.
I could not understand this man. Okay, so we're all having a good time, But then, out of nowhere, Herbert Ernie appeared from the crowd.
Dancing. Seems like yesterday I could have gotten along with you boys earlier, but their security officers seemed a little jealous of my hypnosis skills and charm. But luckily, I was able to charm them into letting me in.
Herbert, you need to leave now, or I'm calling the police for real this time, I said.
Go ahead, Nick. Once they arrive, my dancing wizard will lure them into my hypnosis.
Your what? Your hypnosis, Herbert. It's too late to question that, though. Herbert got on the dance floor and stripped down to his tighty whities. Oh no.
Here we go, ladies.
And yeah, Herbert continues doing that, and soon we're able to witness Herbert start picking his nose. Oh shit, that's nasty, said Colin. I had to agree with him. Herbert picked his nose and pulled out not snot, but rather a piece of lint, along with a penny and a paperclip. Herbert, how'd that get in your nose? I asked.
Not so fast, Nick. Don't get jealous when you learn. You little bee. After me, let's run,
said Herbert. We watched as Herbert stuffed the lint, penny, and paperclip down his pants, or in his underwear, in fact. He then started running around crazily. He tore his tents, tore down the vending machines, burst through the circus tent. He ran into people. He even ate everyone's food. He smashed through everything and just caused a straight mess. That's it. I'm calling the cops, said Colin. I'm already on it, a security guard said. 5 minutes later, police arrived, and Herbert was taken away. However, the damage had already been done. The entire Banderville Fair had to be closed for the rest of the season, as the event tents were collapsed from what Herbert had done. People were traumatized from Herbert, and knocking them to the ground and everything. Food is splattered everywhere. The funnel cake tent was all messed up and collapsed. Even the Ferris wheel fell over. That then concludes why you should never take risks when it comes to going to the great Banderville Fair.